Hello, questions and answers again. Do we have any questions, Ria?
We do, we have a couple.
Okay, first question.
So the first one is, how do you achieve internal balance?
Okay, that's a big subject. Obviously, when you look at your whole system, there's mind, body and spirit, and you need to find balance of each one of those areas. Okay, so body, the quite obvious thing would be to be eating good food, organic food, but also staying out of situations that are toxic. So trying to limit your exposure to toxic people that are impossible to get on with. That would be another thing physically, but that also touches on the mental and also the spiritual. So there are crossovers there. It's a big subject. However, let's just see all of our internal workings, our physical body, our mind, our soul, spirit, all as one thing, and call that our energy body, because it's all energy really, all different degrees of energy, the physical being very dense, and then the mind and the spirit being very high vibration. Let's just see it all as one thing from the point of view of trying to reach some sort of internal balance. Okay. What tends to happen is when we're feeling very, very low, we tend to think, okay, I don't want to feel like this, I don't want to be low, I don't want to feel depressed. But at that point, we're so low, it's hard to come back from it. So we kind of stay in that low vibration and we struggle. And then a few days pass and we just naturally find that we start to lift. It's hard to lift yourself up. It's possible, but it's hard. It might be easier to look at the other side of the spectrum. People that get very low tend to also get very high. When we're high, we don't think there's anything wrong, but actually that's still losing balance. So what I would suggest is to try and deal with the situation, the problem, if you like, at that point of feeling high, when you do feel like you can do something about it. If you're feeling high, there's actually too much energy within your system. It isn't off balance. And in a way, it's an exchange that has to be paid back. If you're high at some point, you're going to have to be low at some point in order to pay that back. Does that make sense? Okay, so we're feeling high and we want to bring that down to a point of balance so that we don't feel the opposite of that, the low, at some later point. It's a good way to do it. Because we're dealing with the whole of the body, mind and spirit as one system, the energy body, we can use what's called mudras or hand dharmas. I'll show you one now that's really good. If you do, I'll turn around so you can see which hands I'm using. If you do A-OK with your right hand, A-OK, all right, and then with your left hand, thumb to little finger, okay. And you sit and relax with that particular hand dharma or mudra. That is actually the symbol for energy out. So energy will be siphoned out of your spiritual system by simply holding those hand shapes. Now it's interesting that your energy body knows what to do. This is drawing on very natural principles that are already programmed into your DNA. Hold that shape for about 5 minutes. You can feel the energy moving out through the palms of your hands. You may even have a strong sensation of being connected to the moon. It can also help to visualize the moon, full moon, on both palms, energy out. This is the mudra of the moon, the balancing force that takes the chaotic energy and creates form. You don't have to worry about losing energy and going lower and lower, because this is a siphoning process. it will simply take away the energy that's extra and bring you to a point of balance. You will never go lower and lower and lower. You will just lose the extra energy that you do not need. If you're feeling very anxious or you're worrying about something in the future, something that you've got to deal with, do these shapes with your hands and feel how calm you become, how collected and how focused your mind becomes. You can do these shapes before going into a stressful situation so that you're at your best. Extra energy is just as much an off balance as feeling too low. If we address the highs like this, then we don't have to experience the lows later. That's a good way to find internal balance. Deal with the highs rather than the lows. Let's try that. Okay, what's the next question, Ria?
The next question is, I'm new to tarot
Yes.
and I would like to learn, but I don't know which deck I should choose.
A question that's asked a lot. It's a good question. Okay, essentially what we're dealing with here are two decks. You've got Rider-Waite system, I'll call that, and the Thoth deck, which is different. Most people use the Rider-Waite system. Some people get confused because they think the Rider-Waite system is the actual deck that says Rider-Waite on, and of course it is. That's the original deck. Very simplistic, the pictures. Some people don't get on with those cards in an intuitive way, but it is the original system that basically took the minors and the court cards and the majors and put pictures on all the cards rather than just pictures on the majors and the court cards. The minors comprise the majority of the deck, so with the old system, the medieval system, there was no pictures there, so it's not like you could read it intuitively at all on the majors and the court cards. The minors comprise the majority of the deck, so with the old system, the medieval system, there was no pictures there, so it's not like you could read it intuitively at all. There's literally, if we're talking 5 of wands, it would literally just be 5 wands that were on that particular card, or the 2 of cups would just be 2 cups on the card, which wasn't really telling you anything intuitively. A lot of people feel that there's a lack of empathic connection to that sort of simplistic card, and yet some people get on really well, so it is a personal thing. But if you're starting from scratch, I would say, rule of thumb, go with Rider-Waite, because most people will be teaching Rider-Waite systems in the books that you read, simply because it's an easier system. There's a picture on each card, and even if you don't know anything about the tarot, you can look at the card and think, 7 of Swords, I can kind of see what's going on there in the picture, and you can read the deck intuitively, and then over time you can gain information by hitting the books and attaching the base energy of the cards, the traditional meaning of the cards, to each card. But you can just look at a Rider-Waite deck and read it intuitively because all the pictures are there telling you what's happening from each card. Thoth deck, if you're more inclined to be of an ancient path and you're practicing ancient craft, you would probably feel more of an affinity with the Thoth deck, which we sell a lot less of. They're a little bit more niche. They tend to have sacred geometry worked into the imagery. The way that the cards are organised, the majors and the court cards, are different to the Rider-Waite, so it is a different system. You can't match up the 2 different systems and say that card's that card, that card's. It is different. So if you've learned how to read Rider-Waite and you look at a Thoth deck, you'll think, okay, I know some of these, some of them match up, but actually I'm really confused. So you will have to learn a different system with the Thoth deck. The Thoth deck is really good if you want to, at a glance, see which elements are coming through: fire, water, air, earth. Because the way that the Thoth deck is, you've got colours that are quite obviously attached to each element: fire, orange and red, water, blue, air, white, and very clear looking. So you can put your spread down at a glance, know whether there's a lot of fire element in the inquirer's life, a lot of water, emotional element in the inquirer's life. So it's good for that sort of immediate connection with the elements, which again leans on ancient craft. So if that's your thing, then maybe learn the Thoth system, but it is different to the Rider-Waite. So just to recap, the Thoth is more magical craft, and the cards are different to the more mainstream Rider-Waite system, which is basically a picture on each card that tells you something about the card, so you can work out from the picture what the card's telling you. It's a lot easier to learn with the Rider-Waite system. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to buy the deck that says Rider-Waite on, but somewhere on those tarot cards there will be follows the Rider-Waite system. If it says that, then there's basically a picture on each card that will tell you something about the base energy of each card. Okay, so my advice would be go for a Rider-Waite system rather than Thoth if you're just starting out. Okay, I hope that helps, and I hope you get on well with the tarot. It's very rewarding, and simply from reading the little book that comes with each tarot box, you can learn a lot about life. It's really quite profound stuff. Okay, well, thank you for listening to questions and answers. Are there any more questions at the moment, Ria?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, we'll pick this up next month. Okay, so any questions, just let us know and we'll answer them in a video just like this. Have a lovely day.